Howdy folks, Nathan coming at you from the 2018 North American International Auto Show, and I'm in the Ford Pavilion. Behind me, not only is it a 2019 Mustang GT, but it's the 50th anniversary Bullitt edition. Now what does that mean? Well, there's a couple things. First of all, they gave it a horsepower bump. Puts out 475 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. It's channeled through a 6-speed manual transmission, and that is the only transmission you're going to be able to get. Cool thing about that, oh, but see these brakes? Brembos, baby. Also unique wheels. But check out the interior. Recaro seats, and most importantly, look at the gear lever. That's right, cue ball style, the way it should be. Now the Ford engineers have also tuned the exhaust to make it sound unique. And the entire vehicle will be available summer of 2018. But there's something more important as far as I'm concerned, and that's over here. Come on guys, have a look. Now this is the original Bullitt Mustang. That's right, this is a 1968, I believe, Highland Green movie car. Steve McQueen actually sat in this vehicle, and it was his beauty vehicle. They had other ones that were stunt cars, but this is the one that he drove around. Now, the interesting point about this car is that he actually tried to purchase the vehicle and couldn't. The family that owned it actually had their mom, a third-grade school teacher, drive this as her daily. Can you believe that? Check out that shifter.
Since 1974, my dad bought it in 74. Had you know, 16,000 miles on it when he got it, and in '80, the top clutch spring kind of went out because a couple of people obviously have been beating on the clutch a little bit, and so I was born in '81, and she's gone everywhere. My family's gone, so from Jersey to Kentucky to Tennessee, and yeah, she's my whole life has been there.
Wow, and obviously original condition. I mean,
100% original, yeah. Just like I used to walk by it when I was a kid, and that was, you know, that was what was huge for me. Is you know, is I didn't want to disrupt history as far as the movie goes, of course, but what I didn't want to disrupt was my family and my father and everything from bumper to bumper. That was what meant something to me. Is the car itself represents my father and my family, and just walking by it, it reminds me of him. Sitting back there, waiting to come out, I was just me and him sitting in there. I was just doing it for Dad, and it was amazing. So.
Yep, it's the real deal. Now, what the cool thing is, Ford brought in Steve McQueen's granddaughter to drive the new Bullitt and also do a little bit of an introduction with this one. In fact, she had a chance to sit in and start it up, let it rev a little bit, and connect two different families and connect to her grandfather, who unfortunately she never had a chance to meet.
Hi, I'm Molly McQueen. And Steve McQueen was my grandfather. This October marks the 50th anniversary of his iconic film, Bullitt. It's crazy. You talk to people about great car chase movies, and it still remains the gold standard. Now, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I'm definitely a little bit biased. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the passion that my grandfather brought to driving. We all know he loved cars, and truthfully, he could have picked any car in the world to be in that movie. But he chose the Mustang for two reasons. First, it was incredibly important to him to pick a car that the average American could afford, especially on a detective salary. And second, it's badass. It's kind of the best of both worlds, right? I love that he wanted the car to be accessible to a lot of people. He wanted to give them the opportunity in real life to capture the thrill that they saw on screen. That is why I am so excited and so honored to be here with all of you to unveil the all-new Mustang Bullitt. This car does something that really channels the spirit of my grandfather. So when I was younger, I remember coming across a script, one of the Bullitt scripts, in a box in our house. And he had hollowed his notes and his scribbles on it. And what really caught my eye is that he had crossed out line after line of his own dialogue. Now, as an actor myself, I can tell you that we don't typically, well, never really give ourselves less to say. But he was smart enough and he was confident enough to strip away everything that was unnecessary. And what was left was thrilling. The same is true of the 2019 Bullitt. It is a minimalist work of art that calls back the original 68, debadged with unique 19-inch wheels, a faux gas cap, and a manual transmission with only a cue ball shift knob, just like my grandpa would have wanted. The engineers even gave the V8 a signature exhaust note. Oh, and while they were at it, they made it more powerful than a Mustang GT. It is fun, it's fast, and effortlessly cool.
So when did you actually see the car? Was it just recently or when?
It was the beginning of December.
Just a month ago?
Yes. They had told, like, afterwards they felt so guilty for lying to me for so long, because I had an idea, like, as soon as the Mexico one came out, I was like, maybe, and they just lied straight to my face and told the video.
What did they say? Do we have a new car for you to look at?
No, they said, so I knew the new one was, I knew that they were coming out of it with the 2019, and we shot the video where I was driving it, and then they said the following day we're just going to get it on film, we're going to do the unveiling and just pretend like you haven't seen it. And I was like, okay. And they had originally told me that Sean, who owns the car, that he had worked on it, the original one. So it first clicked to me like he's
kind of
younger, yes, and then younger, but he knew a lot about it. So I was like, okay, I guess. And then with the tarp on it, it looked a little bit different than the car I'd seen the day before, so that was another red flag. And then as soon as I saw the paint, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And I think more than anything, I was shocked at how genius of a job, yes, how well restored it was, and I think also like just how much he cares about the car. I can't imagine it being in better hands.
Pretty cool stuff. Thank you so much for joining me at the LA Auto Show. This is Nathan with the Fast Lane Car, and I'll see you next time.